in the past have lied to ourselves, other people, screwed people over, cheated them, all of us. And a lot of times it's just ourselves mainly. We screw ourselves more than anybody else does. You got to forgive yourself. That's number one. And while you're at it, might as well forgive other people too, because resentment doesn't help. Number two, you got to commit to do what you say you're going to do from this point forward. You got to commit to do what you say you're going to do, because every time you let yourself down, you chip away at your self-worth and your self-esteem. For you guys wondering, who's this dude? Well, again, as Eric told you, this is my training center that I normally just have people in here to train and teach whatever, how to sell more, how to close more, how to get rich, whatever the case may be. And mostly it's empty. So Terry and Eric are like, shit, dude, we could put our top people there. And I said, cool, go ahead. They didn't say I was going to have to come talk to you guys. It's pretty funny because I don't necessarily know what to say, but I do talk to people all over the country. I have a podcast, top podcast. If you guys have never listened to it, I'd listen to it. There's over 500 episodes and it changes lives. Isn't that crazy? It does. When people would say, dude, you changed my life, I heard your podcast. I said, what'd I say? They said, that time you were talking about brushing your teeth. And I'm like thinking to myself, dude, like you didn't know to brush your teeth? But you start to realize there's a lot of people in the world and, you know, they're not all that bright, most of them. Seriously, if you think about it, like how many people are here? 70, 80, 60? You know, at the end of the day, how many are in the whole entire organization? Huh?
1,000.
Are you guys alive?
Yeah.
Is this a fucking mirage? How many all across the country? Thousands? Thousands? And only 60 of you have figured it out?
80-20 rule.
Well, no, it just makes no sense to me. And I always like to keep things a little bit simple. Like, one time I was a kid, I'm driving in my dad's car. We're heading to the Valley River Inn. It's in Eugene, Oregon. And Elvis Presley was supposedly in town that day. And so I tell my dad, well, if Elvis Presley's in town, Dad, he's got to be right over here at the Valley River Inn, right? My dad says, no, he wouldn't stay there. You know, he'd be at Hilton or wherever he's supposed to be. And I said, no, I'll bet you anything he's right here. Look at all those Cadillacs. Everything was parked out front. We walked in. Sure enough, my dad gets out of the car, starts walking over, and we see this big crowd of people standing with a bunch of security guards in front of them. I'm a little kid. My dad walks up and he says, well, maybe you were right. He is here. So we walk up, we ask somebody, you know, what's going on over here? And he says, oh, Elvis Presley's in here. Elvis Presley's in here. So I said, yeah, Dad, I told you. So he said, well, you know, there's security and, you know, you can't get through, and unfortunately, you can't go any further. This was the end of the road. And so me as a little kid, all I saw was fucking openings in the legs. And I just took off, walking through the legs, boom, popped out the other side, walked right down the hallway. No one stopped me. I'm a little kid about this big. Elvis opens his freaking sweet door, walks out, and says, how you doing, little man? Pats me on the head and walks out by. My dad never got a chance to meet him. I got patted on the head by him. Now, why do you think that is? Yeah, because he saw stop. He saw blockage. I saw holes and openings and opportunity. It's two different things. It's just a perspective change. It's a perspective shift. So like, if I were going to try to get you guys to shift your perspective, it would be like, are you the top? Are you the top? Because if you're not the top, but you are the top of the company, how do you double that and triple that to where next year you're 5 times where you are today and you're almost ashamed that you were doing whatever you're doing today then. It's like outdo yesterday. You know what I mean? So personally, what shifted everything for me when I started doing that and leveled up, and if you guys are wondering what have I accomplished, number one, I dropped out of high school at 16. Okay, so I didn't get a high school diploma or a college degree, although I do now. What a bit, I don't know how many years later, but I've got 3 MBAs, 2 bachelor's, and like 12 associate degrees. They're not mine. They work for me, but I still have them. And that's the whole thing. You don't need a degree when you can hire one. So that just goes to show you that anybody, can do it. But I especially have done it. I have several 8- and 9-figure, or almost 9-figure companies, collectively a 9-figure company. And I used to think $1 million a year was all the money in the world. Then I started making $1 million a month, and I thought, shit, dude, I've arrived. And now I'm trying to hit, the $1 million a week. And then after that, I'll do the $1 million a day. And then after that, I'll do the $1 million an hour. Because that's how you keep going. You have to keep out producing yourself. You're your only competition, right? So what made that happen for me, basically, was I created this thing called the $1 Million Morning. And I'm going to share it with you, if you want. You sure? Because if you don't want, I don't care. I'll go back upstairs.
Lay it out.
So I had to trick my brain into being grateful. I wasn't naturally grateful for anything. Matter of fact, I was probably the opposite. I was entitled. I thought, where's my shit? Right? Like if my sister got some stuff and I didn't get the stuff, I was like, what are you doing? That don't work. So, never had a grateful bone in my body until one day I put a sign on my wall and it said, congratulations, you get another day, bitch. And every day I woke up, I'd start thinking about the car payment and all the bills and all the nonsense. And so I'd look over at that sign on my wall and I'd say, congratulations, you get another day. And it just made me shift. Everything immediately became an opportunity. Everything became more engaging, more optimistic. I don't know why. Now, I realize now what happened. Think about this. What if I gave y'all $1 million cash? You walk out of here pretty pumped up, would you not? Yeah. I don't know about this crowd. Yeah. You guys are like deadbeats. Come on, man. Wake up a little bit. $1 million cash, I wouldn't excite you? Yes. Yeah, now think about this. This is where the light bulb goes. Ding. If I gave you $1 million, you get all excited like that. Would you take the $1 million if you couldn't wake up tomorrow? No. So you're telling me that waking up, just waking up, is worth more than $1 million? Then how come you don't act like that every fucking day? Every darn day. Sorry, some of the people looking at me like, huh? Terry, how would you bring a cusser in here? So you got to wake up that way every single day. Because literally, people are waiting for dancing rainbows and unicorns and all this shit to have a good day. But just the fact that you get a day makes it a damn good day. The question is how much better will it get? And so I created 4 things that I focus on every single morning. Number 1, I got to focus on my health. Because I'm telling you folks, you lose that, money don't mean a thing anymore. Okay, you want to focus on the health. Get your blood pumping a little bit, get your heart elevated, and eat at least one good meal. You look better, you feel better, you think better. I'm telling you, it's game changing. But that's what I do. I'm just telling you what I do. The next thing I do is I write down 5 people who I'm going to reach out to and text. Because guys, relationships are the new currency, right? It's all about relationships. You guys want to be those people that call only when you need something? Raise your hand if you got someone that calls you only when they need something. Like look around, almost everybody. We've all got those people. You want to be one of those people? No. Okay, well, you know what happens? You sit there and someone says, hey, da-da-da-da-da, and someone will go, shit, Bob's got a truck. Let's call Bob. And it's not like a mean thing, but like, shit, I ain't called Bob since I needed his truck last time. So what I do every day is I write down 5 relationships that I want to build upon, nurture, appreciate, no pun intended. And I shoot them a text or an email or a video, even better, a video. Hey man, miss you buddy. Hey, appreciate you. Whatever the case may be, whether it's a personal or business relationship. You reach out on a regular basis and you keep rotating every morning, 5 to 10 new people that you're reaching out to every single day. Then I write down 5 things that are going to drive revenue today. And I don't go to bed until I do them. Now you guys know what drives revenue, don't you? So take what you earned last year, and I can teach you how to double it in 3 easy steps. I'll do that at the end if I have time, because I can. And if you listen to me, you'll be like, oh shit, that's stupid. Well, then how come you ain't doing it? But here's the thing with this $1 million morning. You wake up with the gratitude like you just got more than $1 million. That shifts your perspective. So now you're pumped up, enthusiastic. You hop out of bed. Before you even leave the door, man, just knock out a little bit of health. Little bit of health, man. Well, I don't know. Shut up. Like, do this. Like, get your heart rate going a little bit. It elevates the mood. It elevates the serotonins and all the chemical shit that's going on. And all of a sudden, you're a little bit fired up. Then quickly write down 5 names of people who you're going to text and email something positive and shoot it out. Then you write down 5 things that are going to drive revenue today, and you don't go to bed without it. Then you open up a book of any kind. Well, not any kind, but self-help, hopefully. You open up a book and you read 10 to 20 pages. Because when you get it to the simplest form, if you want to change what you're getting, right, whatever it is you're getting, if you want to change that, who wants to change it? We all do. If you want to change what you're getting, you have to change what you're doing. Agree or disagree? Agree. So in order to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe. Period. Because you do what you do because you believe what you believe. Whatever that is. You believe it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be true for you to believe it either. So it doesn't make it true just because you believe it, but it does totally control your actions and your decisions and your choices and your thoughts, your limiting belief. Because we all have that. So where was I? What the hell did I just say?
10 pages.
Huh?
10 pages.
Oh yeah, read 10 damn pages of a book, 10 to 20 pages every single morning. If you guys haven't read The 4 Agreements, I'd go get that book. The 4 Agreements. I'd read it way more than once. And by the way, guys, like, training isn't something you did, it's something you do. See the difference? Like when some people come to a thing like this and they call it training, this isn't training. Training requires 4 key ingredients in order for it to be training. Like the military trains their soldiers, okay? Top teams train their athletes. Okay, this is not training because it doesn't have these 4 key ingredients. That's how I invented that multi-million-dollar company up there. Basic principle. Good content, which is what you're getting here. Repetition, which is what you're not getting here. Practice, which is what you're not getting here. And accountability, which is what you're not getting here. So what are you getting here? You're getting 1, good content. But without the practice, the repetition, and the accountability, it doesn't go very far. That's why a lot of times we come out to these things, we leave, we don't do a damn thing different. We remember a couple things somebody said. Oh, that funny guy from upstairs came down and cussed. You know, you'll remember that. But why don't you go home and implement everything you learned? Because this isn't training. This is exposure. We're exposing you to some good information. And I don't know where you all are from, but in Nevada, you can get arrested for exposure. Matter of fact, Creekmore got arrested for indecent exposure last time he was here. They had to let him go for lack of evidence, but he was still arrested to begin with. So folks, you don't want to just be exposed to this. You want to take notes, you want to go back, you want to study those notes, you want to go through it 1,000 times. And then you practice, and then you hold yourself accountable, because no one here is going to probably hold you accountable except yourself. And then that's where the development comes in. But you read the 10 to 20 pages a day, every single day, so you can get new information. Because if you don't get new information, your beliefs won't change. It's impossible for you to believe something new unless you heard something new, or you've considered something new, or some new information entered the picture. Make sense? So if you know that new information causes you to change, and you know that you need to change in order to make more money, why not pick up a book and make it a habit every single day? Every single day. I'm starting to do it at night before I go to bed too. Like, I just want more information. It doesn't even have to be good information. It doesn't. Sometimes you'll hear what not to do. At the end of the day, though, more information causes you to think differently. When you start to think differently, you start to believe differently. Once you believe different, you make different choices, different actions. You have different thoughts in your head. You're not as limited. Like some people who like $10 million a year are any of you making that? None of you?
Not right now.
Why? You got the fucking vehicle. That's a fact. Don't you or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
You got the vehicle. So I always say, look, it's got to be two reasons. One, you don't know how. Or two, you don't think you deserve it. And it's usually number two.
Really?
Yeah, most people don't think they deserve any more than they're getting. You're never going to outperform your own self-image. So you guys want to raise your net worth, you got to raise your self-worth. See what I'm saying? Can I get a come on?
Come on.
I almost felt like I was at church. I heard someone go, But it's the truth, and that's why a lot of people don't really like to hear it, because then they go look in the mirror and you guy's a big asshole. That's what he is. I'm just telling you the truth. You're never going to outperform your own self-image. If you think you're this, you'll never make more than that. You have to raise your value, right? And it's your self-value. Don't run around and tell everyone else how good you are. Like, you got to convince yourself how good you are. And most of us aren't really that good. But we don't want to admit that, right? And why aren't we good? Well, because we really don't want to do what it takes. We just say we do. We just say we want to be a freaking Richard in hell, and then we don't. Because it's just like, it's just like getting in shape, right? Getting abs. How hard is getting abs, folks? Who here's got abs? Okay, 3 of you. And you're lying. None of you got abs. They're easy to get, aren't they? Everybody knows how. If you don't know how, dude, Google YouTube rock hard abs and do what it says and give it some time and you'll probably have rock hard abs. It wasn't real difficult. Why don't we all do it? The work. That's what we want to avoid. And that's how you know you're not the best, but it's all subconscious, in my opinion. Now, where do I get this? Because I used to be the same way, and I've done tests and theories, and I've tried it out. And every time I raise my self-worth, my net worth goes up. You know what I mean? Like, I got to start thinking up as well. I got to think more and more and more. Every day I got to challenge myself and outdo the day before yesterday. I got 5 factors that I say, 5 factors for success. The first one, you got to take a chance, because if you don't, you're just going to work for someone who did. You got to take a chance. Number 2, you got to solve problems, get really good at it, but most people avoid problems, yes or no? Yes. Nobody wants those things. Well, guess what, dude? If you want to make $1 million, solve 1 million problems. How do you get good at anything? Doing it over and over. So get out there and solve problems. You got to get really good at solving problems, because guess what? They're not going away. So you just got to get really good at them. Get really, really good at solving problems. Don't avoid them. Face them. And then 3, okay, you got to be able to make adjustments. Most people think you just got to, laser focus in with the horse blinders on. That's not true, man. You want to pay attention to what's going on. Like when COVID hit, you guys had to pivot. Now it's coming back. Guess what? You can go back to the watering grounds, and they're freaking, teeming with life. But what happens when something happens again, and you guys are all shit out of luck again? You got to pivot. You got to make adjustments. Most people just do this. You're stuck in the one thing you've always done. There's other things out there. You got to try new shit. Number 4, you just train your ass off every single day. You just make yourself better than the next. I mean, if there's nobody in this room that right now, if they made a commitment and did what I'm talking about, next year would beat everybody else in this room. Who's the number 1 person in this room? Do we know?
Terry.
Probably probably Reed.
But again, I mean, like any person in here could outdo these people.
For sure.
You just don't believe it. And that's why you don't. So in order to try and believe it, you got to freaking work on that self-worth and that self-image so it can raise. And it may not be overnight, but what it does is it creates a vacuum, and you raise your self-worth, and then that net worth starts to fill up. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
because you're putting in the work. Hold on, it ain't Q&A day. Hold on just 2 seconds, then I'll answer a question. So in order to do that, the number one thing that you want to do is what I call the sacred six. Write these things down. Number one, what? Five what? Oh, you got to outdo yesterday. At least you guys are paying attention.
No, reading 10 to 20 was 4.
4 was train your ass off.
Yeah.
That's not the same as what?
What is 3?
A tough group, man.
3's make adjustments. Man, you guys, can we get some coffee in the room? Is this a cannabis conference?
First Thursday. Let's go to Q&A.
That's the 5 factors. You got to freaking take a chance, get good at solving problems, make adjustment, train your ass off, and outdo the day before. If you do that, you can't be. I don't say unstoppable, but if you want to be unstoppable, there's 3 things you want to do: mindset, skill set, and habits. If you just focus on the mindset, the skill set, and the habits, those are the only 3 areas you need to master. You master the mind, you master the skill set that's required in whatever field you're going after, and then you form the right habits, dude, forget about it. Hey, you want to spend an hour a week with me helping you become a business badass? Well, check out my group in the link below. But to fix your self-worth, your self-image, it's the sacred 6. You guys don't want to hear that one? Yes. All right. And I developed these so I know that it works because it works for me, and I have the bank accounts to prove it. And people are like, dude, this kid dropped out of school. That's right. So it works. So anyway, first thing you got to do, because a lot of us in the past have lied to ourselves, other people, screwed people over, cheated them, all of us, somehow, some way. And a lot of times it's just ourselves mainly. We screw ourselves more than anybody else does. So you got to forgive yourself. That's number 1. And while you're at it, might as well forgive other people too, because resentment doesn't help. Number 2, you got to commit to do what you say you're going to do from this point forward. Literally. Sounds easy. A lot of you might be thinking, damn, I'm not going to do that. Because you already know yourself. You know, we procrastinate. I'm going to start a diet on Monday. Monday comes and be like, shit, you know, we might as well start on the 1st. This is the 4th. I always hate it when, like, it's Monday and the 1st. It's like, shit, now I really got to do it. But you got to commit to do what you say you're going to do, because every time you let yourself down, you chip away at your self-worth and your self-esteem. You can't even make an agreement with yourself. Like, think about how hard that is. It's you, my man. You can keep your own word to yourself, right?
Yep.
Unless you don't like yourself. Then I wouldn't either. See what I'm saying? That's how we know we don't really like ourselves. Deep down, it's like, shit, all these years of pent up shit. You know, we've never really forgiven ourselves. So just forgive yourself. Wipe the slate clean, then commit to do what you say you're going to do. Point blank, period. Then you want to start racking up the wins. The wins are anything. Brushing your teeth, making your bed, working out, eating right, making one more phone call. You want to rack up wins, because when you win a lot, you feel like a winner because you're winning a lot. And when you lose a lot, same thing. That's why when they tell us to set these big ass goals, you know, you say, I'm gonna make $1 million this month, and you make $850. Is that a win or a loss? That's a loss. I don't know what sports you played in school, dude. But if I say I'm gonna hit $1 million and I don't, you either did or you didn't. Now, some people say it's a win. They're rationalizing. Now, again, in that particular case, we could all see the positive in making $850, can't we? But that's not my point. My point is, you said you're going to make $1 million, and you made $900. Deep down, you already know that's a loss, bro. No matter who bullshits you and tells you, you did pretty good anyway. It's $900, man. Be grateful. You know, that's what we tell ourselves. It's a loss. So if you just lower that goal a little bit, 10 small wins a day is all you need. Can you make one more phone call? Can you knock on one more door? Can you sell one more policy? Can you do one more thing? Can you introduce yourself one more time? Can you walk one more step? Like, lower that shit to where you're just winning all day long. Consciously winning all day long. Write down 10 things before you even leave what you're going to do for that day, and just go knock them out, man. And win. And then step 4, get rid of the idiots. Because when you start racking up the wins, like you'll have a buddy of yours, dude, you made one extra phone call, you're patting yourself on the back. You got to get rid of any negativity in the area. Because if you guys think about it, if you plant corn into the ground, what do you think comes up? Right, that's how your mind works. So if you plant wheat, you'll get wheat. So if you plant shit, you'll get shit. No shit. So we let people plant shit all day long with their limited negative ass comments. So you got to block all of that out. Okay? Step 5, you have to map out exactly what success looks like to you. I can ask people, hey, what's success to you? And every time they go, and they look up like they got to think. You haven't even thought about it yet? Like if I told you to come in this room and find somebody out in the hall, you'd go, well, what do they look like? None of your business. Just go. Find them. It'd be like, what? I don't get it. That's what we're doing with our whole success journey. So step 5 is to map out and visualize exactly what success looks like to you, because it's not always the same thing for everybody. People say, Brad, what's the key to success? I say there's no key, it's a combination. And everybody's got their own. And if you try to get my combination and you end up rich, good looking, and funny, and then you end up being depressed and unfulfilled, because guess what? That really wasn't what made you happy. That isn't really what you wanted. It's what Terry wanted, or it's what your mom wanted, or it's what your spouse wanted, or it's some social media post made you think that's where you wanted to be. And you get there and it's not all what it's cracked up to be. That's because you didn't give it enough time and thought. Like really figure out what you want. What is success to you? Map that out and then visualize it every single day. I visualize it every single day. I can tell you exactly what my freaking Gulfstream looks like right now, and it doesn't exist yet. It will here shortly. But you got to think about that shit every single day and visualize it. First map it out, then visualize it every single day and try to feel what it would be like there. And then 6 is seek new information. So that's what you do, man. You forgive yourself, you wipe the slate clean, you commit to do what you say you're going to do, point blank, period. No questions asked. You rack up the wins, you start winning every day consistently. You'll start to stand up a little taller, you'll start to feel a little better, you'll start to think you deserve a little bit more. Then the shit talkers will start popping up. I liked you better the old way. Who do you think you are? Oh, you're special. You got to just block those people out. Okay? And then you map out and visualize on a regular basis what it is you're looking for and how it feels to have it. And then every day you seek new information. I guarantee you, 120 days, you'll look back and you'll feel 1,000% different than you already do. And then the only thing I'd tell you is build a brand on social media. Because I did, and it's making me millions of dollars with no work whatsoever. That was one of the stipulations I gave Eric Creekmore. I don't work. They're like, he's like, what? You don't work? No, dude. I built a brand. I don't need to work. I just say, swipe up. And they all swipe up. Who here would want 1,000 people on your team right now? See? I have a course, $5,000. No, I'm just joking. But the other day, Eric tested me on it, and I did a couple of swipe ups, and I had 6,000 people ready to sell insurance and frickin' solar and anything else in the world. Now, how am I doing that? 100%, folks, personal brand. So my first 20 years building Lightspeed, finally getting to 8 figures, thinking I was all that, accidentally built a brand, and now that brand in the next 3 to 5 years will make me $500 million to $1 billion. In 3 to 5 years. So if I could teach you anything, and every one of you can do it, is you build a personal brand on social media, and you can start right now. Anybody got their account on private? Good. Can't tell you how many people have their shit on private. That's the equivalent of saying, go fuck yourself. It's like, how you doing? Go fuck yourself. And guys, relationships is where it's at. If you guys knew, listen to me, if you guys knew 100 times more people than you do right now, you'd have more than you have right now. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Again, see? It's not rocket science, man. It's like, okay, so like money doesn't grow on trees. And everyone goes, oh, okay, yeah, money's hard to come by. Money's not hard to come by. Money technically does grow on trees, actually, but I'll tell you where money grows. In other people's pockets. All of y'all got money. And if I do my job, I'll have most of it in 5 more minutes. No, just joking. But seriously, all of us have money. Money is where the money grows. I mean, pockets are where the money grows. So if you want more money, you got to reach more people, yes or no? Period. You guys want to do more business? I guarantee you, meet more people. You'll do more business. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. Can I get a come on? Come on. That's the bottom line, folks, and remember that. When you're walking around, grocery store, restaurants, the mall, online, groups on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. Wherever you go, there are people there and you're not introducing yourself. You're not making it known who you are and what you do. There's not a concerted effort every single day to introduce yourself to 10 to 20 more people. New people. If you already know them, dude, don't worry about those. You want more people. Because if you knew 10 times more people than you do right now, you'd have more than you have right now. And it's not hard to introduce yourself, is it?
No.
And if you guys think, yeah, I feel a little awkward introducing myself, well then go do the sacred 6. It's because you don't value yourself. If you fear other people's judgment of you, that means that you value their opinion more than your own. Why would you value someone else's opinion of you more than your own opinion of you? It might be because you don't have a very good opinion of you. I didn't, but you have to go fix it with that forgiveness shit. And by the way, if anybody wants to know the best $5 investment you can make, right here. I'm not even joking. I do keynotes. People pay me 50 grand for this, by the way. Terry, I'll send you an invoice. So I stick around because I feel obligated. You paid me that much, I'll stick around and talk to people and answer questions and shit. And a lot of them will come up and be like, Brad, I got a business idea. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there trying to listen and I can't. I can't think about nothing except, dude, what the hell did they eat? And I'm like looking at it, I'm shaking my head and I'm just trying to get away. I can't, it's like, dude, that would have solved it. That's where the whole brush your teeth thing came out. It's like, I changed the dude's life because apparently he had chronic halitosis. Anyway, and some of you are looking at me like, you do. It ain't my fault. Get one of these. Anyway, build a brand. Am I out of time? Hey, you guys want to learn how to build a quick brand? This is the bottom line. This is how I did it, and this is how you can do it. And it's been 3 short years, and I don't know how many followers I have, but they're getting up there. And it really does make a difference. Like I did a swipe up and made $1 million. Just with a swipe up. I dropped a podcast and made $1 million. Did I not? Just a podcast. Made $1 million. You guys want to sell insurance, you guys want to build relationships, you guys want to frickin', skyrocket to the moon, become a real estate mogul, who cares? Building the brand will help you get there. Period. Because I don't know to buy insurance from you if I don't even know you, correct? And then some people, they put, what they ate for breakfast and they love black labs, but I don't know they sell insurance. Like, I'd known them for a whole long time. Didn't ever know to call them for insurance. So there's a way to build a brand on social media that you do. First one is the source. Like, you see my camera guy right here? Wherever I go, he's there. Other than the bedroom and the bathroom. Otherwise, he's there. Sometimes he's not there when I'm saying some freaking crazy ass good shit, and I look over and he's got like a Chick-fil-A in his hand and he's putting waffle fry on it. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, gotta eat. But other than that, he's filming. And why is he filming? Because most people don't have time to make content. So you have to have the source of the content, and the source of the content should be you. Like, instead of trying to create content, be the content. I am the content. See what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm not making content, I'm just talking to y'all. But you'll see this come out as content. Why? Because I'm just doing me. I go upstairs, talk to employees, call my wife, close a deal, whatever it is I do, there's a camera on me. And then there's a team after that that chops it up and drops it out there. So that's what y'all need to start doing, is create the source of the content, which is you. Because most people don't, because they don't know what to say, they don't know what to put out there, they don't want to look stupid, they end up taking pictures like this. And then there's a quote here, and they're just like, they're always looking off like they're you know, dreaming or something. I don't even know what they're doing. Matter of fact, you're all deleting it, aren't you? He's deleting his right now. When you see a picture and a quote on someone's social media, it just means they don't have any content. So what do you guys do all day? Who do you call? Who do you talk to? Where do you go? How come it's not being filmed? Well, I don't want anybody to know me. See, there's the problem. Stop that shit. Why don't you want anybody to know you? Well, my mom taught me to freaking fly under the radar. Dude, you want to be on the radar. You want to smash the fucking radar. You want to be known by everybody, even if they hate you. See, but most people are afraid of the hate. So they don't put anything out there, because I don't want no one to hate me. How are you going to find any hate? Or how are you going to find any love if you're afraid of the hate? Because the hate's coming, especially for some of you. Know what I'm saying? Some of you going to get a lot of hate. But guess what? That's okay. You're not looking for haters. You're looking for the ones that love you. So you put yourself out there. You don't worry about what other people's opinion is about it. Just make sure you're solid with it. That way you can back it up. And that's the source. Then the source leads to the creative. That's the headlines, the subtitles, and the hashtags. Don't make a post without subtitles. People scroll silently. If they're not reading what you're saying, they won't stop. You can have the most brilliant video on earth. They'll just keep scrolling right past you until you get a following. Then they'll listen to it. But to build the following, guys, you want a headline, which is a hook, and you want subtitles. And you want to make that video, the first 3 seconds is a hook. Just a hook of some kind. And people like train wrecks, you know, and drama. So like, it doesn't even matter, like if you're selling insurance, you could say something like, you know, monkey tears arm off baby. Good thing they were insured. So you can switch it to whatever you want, but you have to hook them and get them to stop. And once they stop, now they're reading. So if you don't have subtitles, they won't stay either. So now they read a little bit, and now you have a formula. It's called hook, problem, solution. So the hook might be, you know, 3 things to do to make sure you're covered for insurance, or you know, 3 things to do before you die. That'd be a better one. Okay, and then they start watching the video. The problem is most people go through life and they forget the fact that they're going to have people left behind that have house payments and college tuition and shit they can't necessarily afford because they were the breadwinner. That's the problem, right? So you state the problem so people can identify with it, and then you bust out the solution. So rather than like die without anything, you need to die with da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And by the way, my name's Brad Lee, and I'd love to freaking help anybody that is looking for protection in this field. My phone number is 702-808-2923. Text me. I'll help you. And you post it. And I'll bet you just start getting organic people calling you. If you don't believe me, go try it. Blow your mind. Just go make a video after we break here. Go outside, make a video of yourself. Stick it on YouTube. Make sure your phone number's in there. Someone's like, I don't want to give out my personal phone number. Why? Like, you do not want to get called or something? See what I'm saying? Like, do you want to be rich or no? Because, well, yes, I do. Okay, well, then freaking give out your phone number. So you put that video on YouTube right now, and you're going to have phone calls coming in. And you're also going to have hater comments. Look at this idiot. What a dick. You know, whatever. You know, don't worry about all that shit. But I used to, you guys have all heard of Grant Cardone, no? Yeah. So Grant Cardone, we modeled him after me. When I met him, he was a car salesman trainer. He's trained car salesman. And no one knew who he was. And so I convinced him to do the light speed thing and started showing him freaking what I'm talking about, little things. And he started getting bigger. Started making posts, Grant rants all over YouTube. Grant was coming up. Dude, he was starting to get recognized everywhere. And I said to him one day, I said, dude, you got to quit freaking posting shit, dude. I'm telling you, it's going to hurt your brand. And I didn't want it hurt because I make rev share from him selling his stuff. So I'm like, dude, you're going to ruin your brand. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, dude, I'm following you. And every time you're on the thing, you're talking about buy this, buy that. And how many people unfollowed him before? Tell the truth. Yeah, see, always somebody. Why? Well, because there's just so much. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, damn. So I called him one day and I said, dude, I'm going to have to unfollow you, bro. He said, go ahead. You ain't buying nothing. and he kept posting against my advice. And guess what? He was proven correct. Don't worry about all the people talking shit. Just keep posting. Just keep posting. Just keep posting. Just keep posting. I'm telling you. And that brand will just start building and building and building. And pretty soon, dude, people are going to start calling you and saying, dude, how did you do that? And I'm telling you, here's how you did it. You became the content. Instead of trying to figure out what to post, you started posting you and the shit that you do, because that's what people want to see. Okay? You started creating hooks, problem and solution format, subtitles and hashtags, and then you put it on at least 6 channels: YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. There's 6 of them. You have to be on all of them. And every day you want to post this content that you're creating on those channels, all 6 of them. And so I'll do probably 3 to 4 per day, per channel. You guys are like, holy shit, that's a lot of content. It's just me walking around being me. Like, that's the only reason I agreed to come down here. I'm thinking, shit, I ain't got no content, I might as well. I'm sure some of this will end up on it. Why? Well, because I don't pick. I got to see it just like anyone that follows me. I'm like, I wake up at 8 o'clock, what did I say? Oh, that was a good one. I remember that. That was 2 days ago on the balcony. But you guys will get in the groove of doing the same thing. So content, the amount of content won't be a problem. Then you got to freaking post it on all those 6 channels frequently. 3 to 5 a day. Now, if you want the truth, YouTube, you only need 3 a week. LinkedIn, you only need 1 a day. Twitter, you only need 2 a day. Instagram, you need 4 a day. 2 posts, 2 reels. TikTok, you need 3 to 5 a day. Was there another one? Now, just default 3 to 4 a day, no matter what. Now, if you guys do that every single day, you're gonna in a year or 2 get really pissed because you don't have 1 billion followers. And you're gonna go, dude, that didn't work. But you're gonna start to see that you do have a lot more followers than you did, and more people are gonna share, more people are gonna know, and you're gonna build that channel. Now, I'm looking back, I've got like almost 600,000 on Instagram. And I'm telling you, it's the craziest thing. If I wanted to sell insurance right now, I could sell insurance right now. If I want to get you 100 people to join your team, I could do it right now. Can I not, Eric? Have you not seen it? Can I get a co-signer? Yeah. So I mean, it's real, guys, and it's you might be thinking, oh man, yeah, but he's, funny and confident. I'm not. Well, that's why I gave you the Sacred 6. I didn't used to be either. Okay, at the end of the day, I value myself because I know I'm out helping people every day. I know that I'm doing the right thing and I'm thinking correctly, whether someone's watching or not, and I'm worth something. I can help people. I don't care who you are, how much money you make. I can help you. I can help people. So can you. You just haven't discovered that yet. So one thing I would hope is that you guys take away from this little event here in Las Vegas, Nevada, is that you're not going to raise your net worth without raising your self-worth. You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself, what are you really worth? And then go get it. I could talk all day, but I got shit to do upstairs. I appreciate you guys. I ask people all the time, what do you consider success? What do you think success looks like? And they don't really have an answer. They sit there and think while I ask the question. So that tells me that those people have never really took the time to think about what success actually looks like to them. See, people could say what success looks like on Instagram, right? But sometimes you chase that success and you end up unhappy anyway.